Have you ever wondered who the gods of ancient Greece really were, or how a small city-state like Athens could ignite the flame of democracy that guides us even today? What was it about their philosophers, poets, and playwrights that left a mark still vivid centuries later? And how did the Greek gods shape not just myths, but an entire civilization? If these questions intrigue you, join us on this fascinating journey through history. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories from the past, the myths and legends of ancient Greece. When we delve into ancient Greek mythology, we're not just exploring old stories. We're uncovering the very foundation of ancient Greek culture and society. These myths, deeply ingrained in Greek life, were more than just tales told for amusement. They were critical in shaping Greek beliefs, values, and understanding of the world. Take Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey, for instance. These epics, composed around the 8th century BC, were far more than just literary gems. They served as cultural encyclopedias, teaching Greeks about heroism, honor, and the consequences of human decisions. The Iliad delved into the complexities of war and human emotion during the Trojan War, while the Odyssey explored themes of perseverance and the struggles of the hero Odysseus on his journey home. These stories were so influential that they were used as educational texts for Greek youth. The Greek pantheon, with gods and goddesses like Zeus and Athena, was not merely a collection of powerful figures. These deities personified human traits and natural phenomena. Zeus, for example, was more than the god of the sky and thunder. He represented law and order, and his judgments were seen as guiding moral principles. Athena wasn't just the goddess of wisdom and war. She symbolized strategic warfare and was revered for her intelligence and skill. Moreover, these myths had practical applications. The story of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, was fundamental in explaining the changing seasons and guiding agricultural practices. Myths about heroes like Hercules, who performed 12 labors as penance, taught the values of strength, endurance, and moral fortitude. The birth of democracy in Athens. In the 5th century BC, Athens became the epicenter of one of the most significant political revolutions in history: the birth of democracy. This was a radical shift from the prevailing monarchies and oligarchies of the era. The democratic system in Athens, initiated by Cleisthenes around 508 BC, introduced the revolutionary concept of ionomia, which meant equality before the law. This was a groundbreaking idea in a world where the concept of equal legal rights was virtually non-existent. Cleisthenes' reforms were designed to break the power of aristocracy and give ordinary citizens a voice in government. Participation was limited to male citizens, which constituted about 10–20% of the population. Women, slaves, and non-citizens, which made up the vast majority, were excluded from this process. Despite its limitations, this was a significant move towards a more inclusive form of governance compared to what was prevalent at the time. The heart of Athenian democracy was the assembly, where citizens could participate directly in the decision-making process. This assembly, which met 40 times a year, had the authority to decide on laws and policies, resembling a primitive form of today's parliaments. Another key feature was the Council of 500, chosen randomly through a lottery system. This council prepared the agenda for the assembly and supervised government officials, introducing an early form of representative governance. Although not a democracy by today's standards, Athenian democracy was revolutionary for its time. It introduced the principles of majority rule and civic responsibility. Athenian citizens participated actively in civic life, a stark contrast to the passive subjects of empires and kingdoms. These democratic principles laid the foundation for modern democratic governance, influencing political thought for centuries to come. The Athenian experience showed that people could govern themselves, a concept that would eventually spread and evolve into the various forms of democracy we see around the world today. Famous Greek philosophers, poets, and playwrights. Greek intellectual culture was a beacon of thought and creativity. Philosophers like Socrates, who lived around 470–399 BC, challenged conventional wisdom with his method of questioning, laying the foundation for critical thinking. Plato, a student of Socrates, wrote philosophical dialogues exploring topics from politics to love, his most famous being The Republic. Aristotle, Plato's student, delved into a wide range of subjects from logic to biology, greatly influencing Western intellectual history. On the literary front, Homer's epics were not just stories. They were encyclopedias of Greek customs, warfare, and heritage. Dramatists like Sophocles and Euripides, active during the 5th century BC, brought to life the complexities of human emotions and the consequences of moral choices in their plays. These works weren't mere entertainment. They were reflections on ethics, fate, and the human condition. These philosophers, poets, and playwrights didn't just leave a legacy of literature and thought. They shaped the very foundation of Western culture, influencing everything from modern education to ethical reasoning. The role of Greek gods and goddesses in society in ancient Greece. Gods and goddesses weren't just mythical beings. They were integral to daily life and society. Each city-state had its patron deity, like Athens with Athena, goddess of wisdom and war, who was revered through monumental temples and annual festivals like the Pantheonic Games. These festivals weren't just religious events. They were crucial for maintaining civic unity and identity. Apollo, the god of music, art, and prophecy, had his famous oracle at Delphi, where people from all over Greece came for guidance. The gods were seen as guardians of various aspects of life. Hephaestus, god of fire and metalworking, was patron to craftsmen, and Demeter, goddess of agriculture, was vital for farming communities. These deities influenced everything from personal decisions to state policies. Myths like that of Icarus served as moral lessons warning against pride and recklessness. Greek mythology thus shaped not only religious practices, but also imparted values and lessons, influencing social norms, politics, and even military strategies, reflecting the deep connection the Greeks had with their gods and the natural world. The lasting influence of ancient Greece on the modern world. A legacy of ancient Greece profoundly influences our modern world in many facets. The concept of democracy, born in Athens, is now a cornerstone of political systems worldwide. Athenian democracy, although limited to free male citizens, laid the foundation for citizen participation in governance, influencing modern democratic ideals and philosophy. Thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle have shaped Western thought for centuries. Their inquiries into ethics, metaphysics, and politics continue to be central themes in modern philosophical discourse. In literature, the epic tales of Homer and the tragedies and comedies of playwrights like Sophocles and Aristophanes have set standards in storytelling and drama. The Olympic Games, originating as a religious festival in Olympia to honor Zeus, have evolved into a global sporting event fostering peace and unity. Greek language and terminology are embedded in various languages, especially in scientific and medical terminology. The architectural styles of Greek temples have influenced Western architectural designs, evident in various public buildings and monuments. The impact of ancient Greece extends beyond historical significance. It's embedded in our political systems, intellectual pursuits, cultural expressions, and everyday language, demonstrating the timeless influence of this ancient civilization. Conclusion and reflections. As we wrap up our journey through ancient Greece, it's clear how this ancient civilization has left a lasting imprint on our world. Let's think about it. The concept of democracy, which started in Athens over 2,500 years ago, now serves as the backbone of over 123 countries today. That's more than half of the world's nations using a system that was born in a small city-state in ancient times. Greek philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle laid the groundwork for Western philosophy and science. Other ideas on ethics, politics, and the natural world are still taught in universities worldwide. And how about Greek literature? Homer's epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey, written nearly 3 millennia ago, continue to be read and studied for their profound insights into human nature and the complexities of life. But it's not just about history and academia. The influence of ancient Greece is woven into our everyday lives. From the way we structure our governments to the architecture of our buildings, the legacy of the Greeks is ever present. As we move forward, it's important to remember these roots and how they continue to shape our thoughts, our societies, and our cultures. Thanks for joining us on this historical journey. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into our past and how it influences our present.